Hey, welcome everyone to the June 2026 TDL Member Forum. I'm Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of the TDL, and we will start as we normally do with acknowledging our physical places from which we're joining, all located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, on what is the ancestral name for what is now called North America. I'm joining from Austin, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their forcible removal. Okay, looking at our agenda, we'll follow the usual pattern, although we do have a couple of guests today. Um, I'm joined as normal by Deputy Director Courtney Muma and Outreach and Member Engagement Coordinator Kiara Hunt. We also have a couple of guest speakers in Christopher Starcher, the Associate Librarian from Texas Tech, as well as TDL's Vireo Product Manager currently, and also Christina Clonch, the Research and Instruction Librarian at Sam Houston State University, and currently the chair of our TDL GIS interest group. So welcome to them and thank you for being here. We're going to move on into some director updates. First off, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who attended, who presented or helped us plan TCDL 2026, which just happened a couple of weeks ago. It was so wonderful connecting and reconnecting with so many of you, so many colleagues. And the sessions gave us all a lot of critical insight to bring back to our respective roles in digital libraries and archives. So thank you. It was really a great conference. Thanks to all the planning committee, to Kiera and Megan for all their work and just to everybody who made it happen. To help us make next year's conference even better, I want to remind you to please take a moment to fill out our post-conference survey. It takes less than 10 minutes to do it, and it closes on Monday, June 22nd. And we'll drop that link into the chat. If you want to relive the experience, we also, or Kiera also just published our conference highlights blog post, which includes a photo album, so you can take a look at those photos and find yourself. We'll share that blog post link in chat as well. And looking ahead, if we are already gearing up for TCDL 2027, and while we haven't issued a official call for planning committee members yet, you can get a head start by reaching out to Kiera directly or emailing us at info@tdl.org if you are interested in joining the planning committee. You can let us know what you're most interested in, whether that's, coordinating networking activities or managing the awards process or evaluating posters. Or if you don't know, that's fine too. You can just, tell us you want to join and we'll work with you to find the right spot. We would love to have you on board and invite you to spread the word to colleagues at your institutions if you know of folks looking for a service opportunity and a fun one at that. I also want to congratulate once again our TDL Awards recipients for 2026 who represent a huge amount of outstanding work in digital libraries, scholarly communication, and community service. They are Kristen Clark from Texas Women's University, Sabrina Davis from Texas Tech, Matt McInerney, also from Texas Tech, Jacob Lord from the University of North Texas, as well as the Texas Digital Newspaper Program and the Texas History for Teachers Project, which won awards this year as well. You can read more about these outstanding people and projects in a blog post that we will link to in chat. Next up, I want to invite you to an upcoming webinar that we're hosting next week on June 23rd, entitled Responsible AI in Practice, the Viewfinder Toolkit for Values-Driven AI in Libraries and Archives. This will be the first in a summer webinar series on AI and machine learning that we're curating. And this one will be led by two members of the Viewfinder project team from Montana State University, Sarah Mannheimer, who is a data librarian there at Montana State and the director of the Responsible AI in Libraries and Archives project, and her colleague Scott Young, who is a UX librarian. Um, they will present this toolkit that they've developed for helping practitioners reflect on how and whether AI can be implemented responsibly and in ways that uphold our professional values and protect our communities from harm. So they'll introduce the toolkit and guide participants through its use. It should be a really great session. And as I mentioned, this is the first in a series. We're working to schedule 2 additional webinars for later in the summer, one on AI and research data, and a third coming in August that will showcase 4 TDL member institutions in discussion about AI and machine learning projects and approaches in their library. So stay tuned for more details on those. Moving into service and project updates, starting with digital repositories. As we've mentioned previously, we are planning for DSpace 9 upgrades starting later in the summer. I don't have specific dates on that yet, but we will be communicating via email with service contacts around dates as we have them. We do have a demo repository in DSpace 9 available for testing. If you're interested in testing out some of the new features, you can submit a help desk ticket to get access to that. And we're going to put a link to the demo repository in chat as well, along with a link to some documentation around new features available in DSpace 9. The DSpace users group met in person at TCDL a couple of weeks ago. We had a great final meeting, the final event of TCDL, as is tradition at this point. And we talked about entities, ongoing DSpace development, accessibility, DSpace usage stats, and all kinds of stuff. We're going to paste a link in chat to the agenda from that meeting, which includes links to some presentations from that session for your reference. And we'll be continuing our discussions about entities and other things at our next virtual Doug meeting, which will be on June 22nd. So join us there if you're interested in those discussions. Next up, our open educational resources support. I wanted to welcome our new OER Users Group Chair, Jennifer Pate, who is the Director of Open Ed at A&M Libraries. She served as Vice Chair last year, and she will be joined in leading this group by Phoebe Ragland, who is the Scholarly Communication Librarian at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. She was just last week elected to serve in that role. So thank you to them. We've got lots of exciting content that we're planning for the coming year in this group. Our next meeting is July 8, and all TDL members are welcome and invited to attend those meetings, especially if you're working in support of OERs at your institution. But even if you're just curious about learning more, you are welcome and more than welcome to attend, and we would love to see you there. And that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to Courtney to continue with some Vireo and other service updates.
Thank you. I've just got a couple of updates today and a guest. So starting with Vireo hosting. So Frank Smutniak, TDL's lead Vireo ETD developer, and Chris Starcher, who's here with us today, are concluding a development sprint that includes fixes to several issues that TDL members have reported in the help desk, including a difficult to diagnose issue where chair names were disappearing from the interface. So those of you who know, you know. So you can see the sprint activity in the sprint board, which we'll share here in the chat. These fixes will be reflected in upgrades to TDL members this summer. We are suggesting a schedule for those upgrades in a communication to TDL Vireo ETD service contacts later this week. So look for that in your inboxes if you work with Vireo. We'll do our best to work around your schedules though, so please respond to those emails if the time we assign isn't the best to accommodate your activities there, and we'll work with you to get it rescheduled. So with that, I'll hand over to Vireo's product manager, Christopher Starcher, who's here with us today to give a couple of open source community updates. So I'll hand the mic over to him for the next few minutes.
Great. Thank you, Courtney. If you were at TCDL, you've heard most of this. This will just be kind of an abbreviated version of what I spoke about there. But for those of you who were not at TCDL, I'm happy to announce that we have developed a roadmap for Vireo. The roadmap was developed from conversations with the development team, TDL leadership, and the Vireo user group steering committee. This roadmap also includes comments from previous user group meetings. It's mostly a technical document, but it does have a little something for everyone in it. So I do encourage each of you to take some time to review it. Please remember that this is a working document. While there are some time frames listed in the document, they are subject to change and will change depending on multiple factors, including things such as decisions that will be made as we move forward with discussions by the development team, as well as things such as just our recruitment of developers and our ability to get developers to work on the project. So we have several reasons why we made this roadmap. First off, sustainability. We needed a sustainability path for this project for long term. We wanted to think about this in a long term way. We needed strategic planning for TDL and the development team, and this document helps us do that. This document will also help us to coordinate among TDL and developers and the user group. So everybody has a role in this. Um, we also wanted to be transparent. This was a big issue. This was very important to TDL and to me that we are transparent about everything that we're doing, um, which, and one of the reasons for that is to facilitate feedback. We need your feedback. We need everyone to be part of this process. We need you all to have a voice in what the future of Vireo looks like, what Vireo 5 looks like. And so, because of that, we created a survey. And so, we have this new survey, and I encourage each of you to fill out this survey. If you are a user of Vireo, this is the single most important thing that you can do to affect the future of this project at this point in time. There's really nothing more important right now that you can be doing. I also encourage each of you to share this survey with others at your institution whom you think would be willing to help us gather information about their use of Vireo. As I've listed here in this slide, this survey is designed for graduate school and library staff, IT support staff, faculty reviewers and advisors, and students. Each of them have a section. The survey will uh, produce particular questions depending on what role you have with Vireo, but everyone has a section and everyone can respond to this. We would love to get feedback from each of these groups. The more responses that we have, the better decisions we can make about the future of Vireo. So please fill out the survey. If you have any comments beyond this survey, anything that you don't feel like fit in one of your answers, or you need to expand on one of your answers and you didn't feel like this survey was the place to do that, please feel free to reach out to me or to any member of the user group steering committee if you have a more personal relationship with them and would prefer to reach out to them. They can certainly forward that information to me. But just send me an email, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this process and everything that we're doing right now.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for that update. That was excellent. I'll be here to answer questions on Christopher's update because he's got to run. So again, thank you for doing this for us. We
You're
appreciate that
welcome.
update today.
Thank you.
I'll move on with an update from the Texas Data Repository. So, the Texas Data Repository Steering Committee held their annual in-person meeting at TCDL, and that one was painful in another way at 8 a.m. rather than at the other time of day. But y'all showed up. Members shared their assessment updates for user and member activity within the Texas Data Repository. They updated some of the group's ongoing initiatives and discussed where to focus our attention and efforts in the coming year. The steering committee will continue its work to apply retention rules to research data in the TDR, expand the services available to help manage larger data sets above 50 gigabytes, and create better video training and user documentation. We will also form a new accessibility group and review our terms of use to clarify researcher responsibilities around sensitive data and accessibility, as well as empower our liaisons to act on and or remove content in their repositories. Just this past week, the assessment group of the TDR Steering Committee launched their metadata remediation strategy and will continue to support liaisons in identifying, correcting, and supplementing information about their institution's data sets. And finally, the group will continue to support each other's research data efforts by reciprocal mentorship and shared resources for outreach and education. And now I'll hand things over to Kiera Hunt for our community updates.
Thanks, Courtney. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to share some community updates with you all. But first, I'll start off with an update about the GeoReference-a-thon from the TDL GIS Interest Group. And we have Christina Clonch here, the current chair, to share those updates with you all. Over to you, Christina.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. So yes, like she said, I'm Christina Conch, Research and Instructional Librarian with San Jose State University, and the current chair for GIS. And last summer, we actually had a georeference-a-thon, and we used a different program. So out of the member feedback, we actually asked, well, what do y'all want us to do this year? And they're like, we would like it again. And so, so we're doing it again. But this time we're going to use kind of a different system for that. And so we're going to be showing the all maps. We're going to introduce that free tool, and we are going to use it to help with the georeferencing. And we're going to have prepared maps that have IIIF manifests. So those will be available to help with the teaching. But if you have maps of your own that you would like to use, you're more than welcome to. They just need that IIIF manifest. So you can bring that. If you're like, I don't know what any of this is, but it sounds interesting, then come anyway. We would love to work with you on it and be like, hey, this is what it's all about. So we're going to have that on July 30th from 10 to 12 a.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So we're going to do a morning one. We haven't done that for some of our events. So this is kind of a little different for us, just to try to help kind of hold people. And was like, it's easier to get stuff done in the morning. So like, okay, let's do it. You're welcome to contact me. My email is on there on the slide. You're welcome to contact me if you have any questions. If I'm not able to answer, I will probably forward you to Alex Martin, who is going to be doing the teaching of the session and like really just doing that workshop. It does require registration, but it's free. Just click on this link, or you can go to our page on the TDL website that talks about the GeoReference-a-thon, just to see more about it. So that's it.
Thanks, Christina. Next up, we have the TDL Web Archiving Texas Interest Group. They will be inviting you all to participate in a collaborative archiving project called Texas America 250 on Wednesday, July 1st at 2 p.m. The group is hosting a live working session to find and nominate URLs documenting the celebrations and events Texans are holding for America's 250th birthday. The resulting web archive will be made completely public via the Portal to Texas History. There is absolutely no prior web archiving experience needed or required to help out. There will be full instructions and guidance during the session. If you want to get a head start, the nomination tool is already active. The meeting link and the passcode are on the screen, and we'll also share the event page in chat, which also includes the Zoom information and the link to the nomination tool. If you have any questions about the event or about the nomination tool, you can reach out directly to Lauren Coe at UNT, who is the Web Archiving Texas Interest Group co-chair, and we'll include her contact information in chat as well. Next, I am excited to announce our new TDL member group leaders for the governance cycle that began on July 1st. These chairs, co-chairs, and vice chairs guide our committees, our interest groups, and user groups. They drive the collaboration, resources, and programming that benefit our entire community. So for the imaging group, we have Marion Smith from the University of Houston stepping in as co-chair. For the OER users group, we have Jennifer Pate from Texas A&M as our new chair, and Phoebe Ragland from Texas A&M University Corpus Christi as vice chair, as Christy mentioned previously. Heidi Winkler from Texas Tech is leading the Open Access Interest Group as chair. Alexa Hyde from Texas State is the new vice chair of the OJS Users Group. Isabel Antes from Texas State will lead the TCDL 2027 Planning Committee as chair. And the TDR steering committee will be led by Millicent Weber from Baylor University as chair, alongside Jane Scott from UT Southwestern Medical Center as vice chair. And finally, the Vireo Users Group steering committee will be co-chaired by John Crosno from UT Southwestern Medical Center and Emily Weschner from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And I just want to say thank you to all of our new leaders for dedicating your time and expertise to TDL. You all can visit our member and community group page as you want to learn more about each group, and we'll share that link in the chat for you all. Next, we are happy to share that funding has been reinstated for the Open Science Primer program. This is a fantastic 2-day in-person train the trainer workshop designed specifically for academic librarians. While they are running a few sessions across the country, Texas State University will be hosting on March 16th and 17th, 2027. Registration is free and includes lunch. Travel stipends are also available on a rolling basis. Space is limited, so you'll want to grab your spot early, and we are sharing the registration link in the chat. You can also check out the Open Science Community Google group for informal discussion and networking, and we'll drop that link in chat as well so you can connect. Next, here is a snapshot of our upcoming meetings and events happening at TDL. These meetings and events are free and open to anyone, and you're always welcome to invite your campus partners and non-TDL member colleagues in your network to join us. So first up, on June 22nd at 3 p.m., we have the DSpace Users Group meeting. On June 23rd at 11 a.m., we have the Responsible AI in Practice Viewfinder webinar that Christy mentioned. On July 1st, we have the Texas America 250 Collaborative Web Archiving event that I previously mentioned at 2 p.m. On July 2nd at 10 a.m., we have the OJS Users Group meeting. On July 8th at 3 p.m., we have the OER Users Group meeting. And a month from now, we have the next TDL Forum on July 15th at 10:30 a.m. On July 24th, we have the GIS Interest Group meeting at 2 p.m. On July 27th at 3 p.m., we have the DSpace Users Group meeting. On July 29th at 2 p.m., we have the Web Archiving Interest Group meeting. And of course, once again, on July 30th at 10 a.m., we have the GIS GeoReference-a-thon event. So we'll share the event calendar in the chat so you can see all of these meetings and also any other meetings that will be added coming up soon. And just a note to our member group leaders, if you need to schedule or reschedule or cancel an event, you can use our TDL virtual event request form, and we'll share that link to the form in chat so you can know what to use to update your meetings. Next, you can check out the latest TDL announcements for all of our upcoming meetings, events, and programs on our social media channels, and then our bi-monthly email newsletter and our announcement listserv. And we'll share the link to our Get Involved page that has all of the links to these opportunities to connect with us, as well as all of our social media links as well. And lastly, we want to help you share the amazing work happening at your institutions, whether that is in our bi-monthly newsletter or our TDO blog or on our social media channels. You can use our content idea submission form to send us your updates. And we're happy to also amplify your posts on Facebook or LinkedIn as well. You can use the content idea submission form to get started, and we'll share that link for you all in chat. And that's it for our community updates. Thanks, everyone. And back over to you, Christy.
All right. Thank you, Kira. And thank you, Courtney and Christina and Christopher, for sharing all the awesome stuff that's going on within the TDL community. If you have any questions, we have a couple minutes here at the end to address those. You can put them in chat, or if you want to raise your hand and ask it, that's fine too. A reminder that you can also submit questions anonymously through our suggestion box, which Kiera has pasted a link to in chat, and we can address those in a future forum um, or just take them to heart if you have suggestions for us. I am not seeing any hands raised, not seeing typing in chat. I'm going to give it another few seconds. You know where to find us. If you have any questions, please reach out. It's really wonderful to see everybody, and I hope you're having a great summer. I hope your great summer continues, and we will see you the next opportunity that we have to get together. Everybody take care, and we'll see you soon.